Hey everybody, welcome back to the Miser's Guide to Evony. In this video, we're going to be looking at an account that is in one of the best alliances on its continent. It is a huge alliance and a huge server. They actually won the battlefield of Chalons last season in season 4, and they have some enormous players in here. So we're going to look through this account. It is a 3.1 billion power account, which is somewhere around rank 20 or so on the server. So it's not one of the huge accounts, but it is in a position where it can grow quite a bit, and it's already in a competitive alliance. So there's a lot of potential for success in that regard. We're going to take a look at the account, but I do want to first make a few comments. Because some people don't necessarily watch all the way to the end of the video, so I want to get these out there. To me, the most important thing for a successful account is to be in a successful alliance. If you are on a dead server, if you are on in an alliance that is not very competitive, is not really shining, then you can only grow so far. You can only play this game so much as a solo player. So even though this account is a bit lower than others in the alliance and on this continent, it does have huge potential for growth from what I've seen looking at it already. And the best part about it is it's in a place that is successful. This account can really, with somebody managing it very well and putting some money into it, can really grow very rapidly, and it's already in a huge alliance, so you don't really have to worry about that. Some notes that the player left for me is they do very well in, like, this alliance does very well in all battlefields. Battlefield Constantinople, Gaugamela, Chalons. Like I said, they won the last season. They won season 4. They had 7 players make it to All-Stars in this alliance, and they had 2 that made it all the way to the finals. It's a very competitive server. It's a bubble of burn server, so you got to keep that in mind as well. It has 3 really large alliances. This alliance is the top alliance on the server. One thing to note too is something that is difficult in some alliances that are competitive are the toxic nature that some players have. That's not the case here. From everything that I've heard talking to this player, the players in this alliance are not toxic players. They're very nice people. So that really is a huge draw to an account like this. Yes, it's 3.1 billion power, and it's not as big as some of the ones that are like 15 billion, 20 billion in this alliance, but with some growth, this one can be developed really well as well, and it's in a huge alliance already. So keep that in mind as we go through here. We're going to take a look at some of the areas that this account is doing really well and some areas that it could improve, just so you have an idea of where you would be looking to work on this account to grow it if you were to purchase it. And if you do want to talk to the owner of this account, the contact details will be in either the description or a pinned comment, and you can just message them directly, ask them questions, make them an offer, or whatever. All right, here we go. Let's take a look first at troops. As a 3.1 billion account, I wouldn't expect the troop count to be so high. It's at 72 million, which is pretty decent actually. A fair amount of tier 14s. Yeah, 2 million plus of the tier 13s. A good amount of tier 12s. Lots and lots of tier 12 archers. That's awesome. Tier 11s. Good. We got some good count on the siege. So it looks like this player is mostly built up for siege and archer. Possibly some ground. Going to go through the layers. I believe are about 1 million all the way down, which is pretty standard. That looks good. Looks good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's continue on. Let's look at the VIP is 16. The tech power, I believe, was 31.7 million, so that's pretty decent for this range. There's definitely going to be some technology that needs to be worked on, and we'll talk about that after. but it's not in a bad place. It looks pretty good. The Monarch gear, I believe, looking through, 8888. That's really pretty standard for this level, and breaking into 9s, which is really good. Let's take a look at I'm not going to go in because I don't want to edit too much of it, but I did go through the Alliance ranking and the Monarch ranking, and this player is ranked somewhere around 20, somewhere around there on the server at 3.1 billion power. The top player on the server is in the 20 billions and is in this Alliance. Actually, I think the top 4, the top 5 is like 20 billion, 18 billion, 15 billion, 13 billion, and they're all in this Alliance. So this is the biggest Alliance on the server. But there are 3 competitive alliances on the server, so it is a very active server. The server number, I believe, was in the 200s, but I don't want to narrow that down too much, even though I kind of did in saying that they won the previous Battlefield of Chalons. But still, I don't need to necessarily go into detail in saying exactly where they're located. Let's take a look at subordinate cities. I believe this is one of the areas that needs some work. The purple Japan as the subordinate city is fantastic. It costs a lot of gems to upgrade these things. Like if you want to go from purple to orange, 2.5 million gems. So, I mean, even just to get to a purple is a lot. You got a gold Russia, that's excellent. The gold America and the purple America, they are not really ones that I would personally want to keep. Except if like I said, this player is going to need to do some work on research. So for the moment, it's not a bad idea to have these Americas. Because there is some work to be done on research. But then after that's done, for whoever takes over this account, I would suggest replacing these Americas with either Russia or Japan, preferably Japan. I would even take a blue Japan over the gold America in the long term. We've got purple Russia, blue Japan, and then there's one more to unlock when your rank or your VIP gets up there. If you're looking at the subordinate city mayors, we've got Harold, Nordic Barbarian King. Okay, very good. Andrew Jackson, 6C, Baldwin. So it's some pretty good stuff there. Let's take a look at the building levels, keep levels. So it's keep level 38. Building levels are pretty much 35 plus. Walls 37, of course. Okay. Rally spot 37, so this one can be upgraded to 38 to improve the troop count. Let's see, where are we at in terms of this? So we need to do the Triumphal Arch and the walls, and then you'll be able to get your next keep level. But I would actually suggest staying here for a little while and possibly working on your research. There's a lot you could do. Maybe work on your troop count as well, because I believe I did see like a lot of resources on this account. Let's take a quick look. So there's right now 12,000 gems, 1 billion of each resource. I'm just going to go down. I'm sure that I saw lots and lots of resources in here. Oh yeah, look at this. This is 5.2 billion of each resource just in here. And then you look at the actual resources, and you got another 2.5 billion here, 2.6 billion here, 2 billion there, and then that's only the 1 million. So I mean, you add up the other ones too, and you've got, yeah, look at that, another 5. So you got a ton of resources, a ton of resources. Wow, that's even more than I remember when I first looked at it. So you've got 10 to 20 billion of each resource. So you can definitely get those buildings done if you wanted to, absolutely. You have plenty of resources to get that done. Let's take a look at Civilization Treasure. The Wonder is not unlocked. To unlock it, you would need to get Server War Ares. That might be something you want to do before boosting up all the troops. And I think that can be done within this alliance, because you can get so many points just from buildings and getting protected, and with some teamwork, it can definitely be done. And then unlocking that wonder, you could probably get wonder 2 unlocked. It would be difficult to get wonder 3 unlocked, but you could definitely get 1 and 2 unlocked fairly easily with this alliance, and then have an extra 2 dragons. Civilization treasure, it looks like they're all level 2. Yeah, they're all level 2, which is great. We can look at civilization equipment. 5 out of 6 pieces of Plantagenet. You got 3 pieces of freedom, 2 pieces of Koryo, or that was for Inkazan. 3 pieces of Han Dynasty, 2 of Koryo, 1 Rurik, 3 Abbas, 2 Bourbon, and that's it. That's quite a few pieces for a 3.1 billion account. Collect. All right. We can take a look at dragons, but I don't think there's any of the specialty dragons because Wonder is not unlocked. But let's take a look at the progress that they've made on these ones. So you got a level 11 Celtic Demon, and you got a level 9 Fafnir. This needs to be done. The refining does need to be done for your Fafnir, whether you decide to go cavalry or whatever. That does need to get done. This needs to be worked on a little bit. Let's take a look at the talents. 40, 40, 40. So those are all fantastic. Very nice. And this one, 40, 40, and 0. But, oh yeah, that's because it's not level 10. So it'd have to be level 10 to be working on that. Okay, those look pretty decent. Let's take a look at, I think we should take a look at the research, because I think that it's a little bit behind where it should be in some areas of the research and ahead in others. Let's take a look at the academy first. This advancement tab I already checked is fully done. Defense is, I believe, is fully done too. All the important stuff. Yeah, defending troops. Yeah, super defending. Yeah, so that looks perfect. Military, I believe, was done. Yeah, military is all done. Medical aid. This is more like healing stuff and server war and all that. So it's not as huge, but if you are going to attempt that server war Ares to get your 1-1 unlocked, I definitely recommend going down here and finishing all these off, just to make sure that it's a little bit easier to heal your lost troops. Alliance research. We've got some work to do here, but this is a lower priority than some other areas because reinforcement isn't as big as it used to be. Subordinate city. This is one of the areas that I think needs to be worked on. So the big things to work on in this tree for whoever takes over the account is you need to get these done. The in-city defense, the in-city HP, they're so important. You need to get that done. Down here, these 3 need to be put to 3 of 3, and this one needs to be finished off as well. They're very important. You have to get those ones done. Recovery isn't such a big deal. I'm going to skip that. Military advance. From what I remember, this one was where all the energy went. So everything that's important in here has been finished off. All the debuff, all the buffs, everything is done. So that is a pretty huge deal, but I would suggest as soon as this rally horn is done, that this player or whoever takes over this account should go over here and finish off those in cities. You got to get those done. Those are very important. Moving on over to the military academy, I think there's still quite a bit to be done, but it's not that bad. Looking through, it's about where I would expect it to be, I should say. So it's down here. There's definitely some work to do, but oh wow, lots of tactic scrolls. Huge amount of tactic scrolls. So that's not going to be a problem. Like if you can push up your gold a bit, I'm guessing that's why it's a little bit behind, because gold these days is really difficult. It's really good to know that you have a huge surplus of tactic scrolls. So whatever you see here, yes, there's a lot of work to be done, Yes, these trees could be a little further along, but when you're only missing gold, it's not that big of a deal. You can definitely get it done. If you were 0 tactic scrolls and sitting here, there would definitely be a lot more that could be done, but with just a gold limitation, it's not a worry. Like this one's a little further along, but yeah, it's let's see, can we even see how much gold this player has? Let's take a look. Where are we sitting for gold? I gotta go all the way down because I'm guessing that's what the limitation is. It's just a huge gold limitation. Okay, so you got a billion there, 1.5. Okay, so it's not a huge amount of gold, but you got about 2 billion gold. You could definitely get a bunch done in there. All right, I think that's about it for what we want to look at in here. It gives you a good sense of the account, but like I said, the biggest draw to an account like this is where it's situated. Location, location, location. It's in a huge alliance. It's in a very successful and competitive alliance that isn't full of people that are toxic. So if you're looking for a place where you can take ownership of an account that, yeah, needs a little bit of work, but is in a place where it can be very successful, then this is probably the place to do it. I don't think I took a look at generals, so I'll do that quickly. But duty generals, you've got most of the important duty generals from what I remember. You got 1 star in Yulji, 1 star in Menchkov. So I would put a few more 1 stars on some of these officers just to take advantage of that in-city stuff and the defense and HP and all that. It's very useful. Military, I think it was mostly centered around archer, defense, and ground, and maybe siege as well. So you've got William Marshall as a 1 star, almost fully specialized, and I believe the equipment was really well refined on the defense. Yeah, I mean, those are really nice. Those are really nice refines. This one, I believe, had a little bit of work here, but some of the numbers are just fantastic. So there's a lot of work that has been done on the defense general. Definitely want to get that 1 or 2 dragon on there. Simeon the Great has 2 star of Ascension, fully specialized. So that is, yeah, that's looking pretty good. 7 million power. The refines are really quite good as well. There's a couple that might need to change. Like, I don't know if you need the march speed. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I'd rather another actual stat on there. But it is a really good start. Wow, that's a nice one. Those are some nice rolls. Let's take a look at Elise. Elise is a little bit lower. She's got 3 stars of Ascension. Ooh, nice march size capacity there. I like that. The gear is not as refined here. That looks good. That is needing a little work. That one's not bad. Needs a little work though. So you can kind of see some of the areas that need some TLC. You can see that there are some areas that need growth. So it's not a fully developed account. But it is in a place, especially with the amount of civilization gear, that it can be really good. It can be. And being in as big of an alliance as it is and as competitive as it is, it's an account that if you do put in that extra work and you take over this account, you're going to have fun wrecking people and being very competitive. So keep that in mind when you take a look at this video, and definitely if you're interested and you want to learn more or contact the person, the information will be in the description or a pinned comment. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting the channel. If you liked what you saw, please consider hitting the like button and checking out other videos on the Miser's Guide to Evony. I'll see you in the next video.